心怡。My name is 王希月。My name is 郑燕文。
My name is Yan Cui.
My name is Bertie.
My name is Zhang Shijie.
My name is Qi Hao.
Today, all seven of us are gathered together because we want to chat with you all about a very real topic: how social media is actually affecting the mental health of our generation. When you are scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, X, have you ever suddenly felt very anxious, empty, or lonely? We are not here to give a lecture today. Let's just talk cautiously and look at this from a philosophical perspective. Let's go.
Actually, everyone is using social media now, but teenagers use it the most and get hurt the deepest. The World Health Organization and a lot of research say that since around 2010, anxiety, depression, and self-harm rates among young people have been skyrocketing, and the time we spend on our phones every day has doubled. The platforms aren't neutral. They make more money the longer you stay, so the algorithms keep pushing you the most addictive, emotionally stimulating content. It's not as simple as a double-edged sword anymore. It's a designed psychological manipulation system.
We want to talk about a few very real questions today. Why, when we are connected to the whole world, do we feel increasingly lonely? Why do we see other people's lives as so perfect and then feel worthless ourselves? Scoring and scoring, unable to stop even though we know we are wasting time. Doesn't that count as addiction? Ultimately, is social media just amplifying our original problems, or is it the problem itself?
We think this issue is too important because it's already a global epidemic. The World Health Organization now ranks depression as a leading cause of illness and disability among adolescents worldwide. In the US CDC data shows that between 2011 and 2021, the percentage of high school students reporting persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness jumped from 26% to a staggering 42%. And that surge coincides exactly with the smartphone and social media revolution. The most severe impact is on Generation Z and Generation Alpha. If we don't figure out what is going on, we cannot protect ourselves, and we cannot protect our younger siblings.
I used to think scorching was really fun. I'd see nice photos like them now. But the more I scorch, the worse my mood goes. Other people traveling, other people's bodies, other people's relationships. It seemed like everyone's life was more exciting than me. Once I scorched until 2 a.m., I was really tired but still couldn't stop. The next day, my whole person felt like a walking zombie. Isn't this exactly what Blanche called the augury of the cat? We were trapped in the carefully edited shadows of others, forgetting what reality actually looks like.
And that's why bullying bullying. Before, to bully someone, you at least had to do it face to face. Now, you can hide behind the screen and say whatever you want. Selena Gomez once said that the comments on Instagram drove her directly to a breakdown, where she needed to see a psychologist.
Brittany, I love your hat.
Please go away.
Can you go home, please, Brittany?
Let's go away.
Guys, come on, guys.
Do you feel out of control in your life?
No, I don't feel like it's out of control. I think it's too in control. There's no excitement. There's no passion. There's no, it's just like Groundhog Day every day.
On those plastic surgery filters, young girls 13 or 14 years old already think they are not pretty enough. Isn't that pathological? From a content perspective, platforms, they know it will hurt people. let its life for the sake of traffic. It is completely valueless basic morality.
What I'm most afraid of is that feeling of being watched. You post something and within 10 minutes you are checking the number of likes, the comments as if you don't exist unless others like it. But then Britney Spears' whole Free Britney movement, cause she couldn't stand this, gave up the whole world. Ordinary people get a tiny bit of this feeling too, just not as it should. The algorithm is especially terrifying. It knows what you like to watch and keeps pushing you the same kind of content. You scroll and scroll, and soon you are only feeling anger, only jealousy, only FOMO.
I actually think social media is more like a mirror. It just amplifies the loneliness, vanity, and tendency to compare that we already have. Society was already cold and alienating. It just makes the alienation more obvious.
That's not right. A mirror doesn't actively feed you poison. The algorithm intentionally pushes you the most extreme, most stimulating content just to get you addicted, to keep you for an extra 30 seconds, to make a little more and revenue. This isn't a mirror, it is a design trap.
노인정. 무섭다 이거. 전 범법 행위는 저지르지 않아요.
Even celebrities on Justin Bieber's level have been driven to break down by the algorithm. Can we ordinary people really withstand it?
If we do a utilitarian calculation of the total account, the pain social media brings has already far outweighed the happiness. Think about it. The quick dopamine hit from the like versus hour of anxiety from comparing yourself. The feeling, connection, and a common thread versus the deep loneliness that follows when you put your phone down.
2,400 years ago, one of history's most famous thinkers said life is like being chained up in a cave, forced to watch shadows flitting across a stone wall. Pretty cheery, right? That's actually what Plato suggested in his Allegory of the Cave, found in Book 7 of the Republic, in which the Greek philosopher envisioned the ideal society by examining concepts like justice, truth, and beauty. In the allegory, a group of prisoners have been confined in a cavern since birth with no knowledge of the outside world. They are chained facing a wall, unable to turn their heads, while a fire behind them gives off a faint light. Occasionally, people pass by the fire carrying figures of animals and other objects that cast shadows on the wall. The prisoners name and classify these illusions, believing they're perceiving actual entities. Suddenly, one prisoner is freed and brought outside for the first time. The sunlight hurts his eyes, and he finds the new environment disorienting. When told that the things around him are real, while the shadows were mere reflections, he cannot believe it. The shadows appeared much clearer to him, but gradually his eyes adjust until he can look at reflections in the water, at objects directly, and finally at the sun, whose light is the ultimate source of everything he has seen. The prisoner returns to the cave to share his discovery, but he is no longer used to the darkness and has a hard time seeing the shadows on the wall. The other prisoners think the journey has made him stupid and blind, and violently resist any attempts to free them. Plato introduces this passage as an analogy of what it's like to be a philosopher trying to educate the public. Most people are not just comfortable in their ignorance, but hostile to anyone who points it out. In fact, the real-life Socrates was sentenced to death by the Athenian government for disrupting the social order, and his student Plato spends much of the Republic disparaging Athenian democracy, while promoting rule by philosopher kings. With the cave parable, Plato may be arguing that the masses are too stubborn and ignorant to govern themselves. But the allegory has captured imaginations for 2,400 years because it can be read in far more ways.
Short-term pleasure, long-term depression, clearly not worth it. The greatest good for the greatest number, right now, it's causing the greatest harm to the most vulnerable.
This isn't just about bad outcome, it's about a fundamental breach of duty. Platform has a categorical moral responsibility to protect the minors who are their users. They can't make money off teenagers while knowingly designing filters that allow bullying and addiction to run rampant. It's a contradiction. They treat young minds as a mere means to an end, that end being engagement and profit, rather than as an end in themselves. That's morally wrong, period.
So yes, the platforms have what to do, but so do we. We ourselves need to cultivate new virtues for this digital age. We need digital temperance, knowing when to log off. We need digital courage to post authentically, not just for clothes. Don't scroll so much out of mindless habits. Be intentional, like Emma Watson, brave enough to publicly say, I just want to stay away from my phone, and actually live by that. It's about building character, one conscious choice at a time.
The most frightening thing is the slow erosion of authenticity. They don't just use the platform, they shape us. We start performing, creating, living, and self in other sides. And in that performance, we forgot who our true self is. The legs become a mirror that doesn't reflect us, but a phantom we choose. We are, in a way, giving up our radical freedom, the responsibility to define ourselves, to an algorithm that defines us by our engagement. Are you living your life, or are you auditioning for it?
So, after talking about all this today, our conclusion is really just one. Social media is both a mirror, an amplifier, and even a trap. But the future is in our hands. We can choose to scroll less, choose real interaction, choose to be ourselves. Don't let the algorithm steal the voice inside you. Thanks for watching. We hope this video gave you a little something to think about. Next time, before you pick up your phone, remember to ask yourself, am I connecting with the world, or am I losing myself?
Goodbye.